So integrated farming gives you basically, number one, first thing that I would say is give you a variety of experience. So let's say if you're in the goat farming, you're in the cattle farming, you get to really learn and experience different sides. Even though they are all livestock, they have so many differences when it comes to feeding, when it comes to medication. Hello guys, once again welcome to Sementia Farms, and my name is Fred. Today I want to talk to you guys about one of the pressing questions and even comment that I get, and what you guys are asking is, Fred, why do you do so many things and not specialize on one thing? Or is integrated farming better, or is specialized farming the way to go? And that's why I've taken this upon myself to share with you what I think and then what my experience have also taught me, so that you guys that are having these questions or writing these comments can have an answer from me or a perspective from what I think. But before I tell you, please go into the comments and let me know if you think that integrated farming is the way to go, or specialized farming is the way to go, depending on wherever angle you're coming from. I don't think there is a wrong or right answer here. So let's be interactive. Let me know, and then don't forget to also tell me what you're doing. Are you doing specialized farming, or are you doing integrated farming? Please write in the comment below, and I would love to read that and get back to you guys. So let me explain a little bit in case there's somebody here who is asking me, what do you mean by integrated farming? So basically what I mean by integrated farming is having different farming projects happening at your farm at the same time, right? So for example, if you're into livestock, you can have goats farm at your farm. You can also have cattle farm. You can have piggery. You can even decide to do poultry, all happening the same. And therefore your farm will be classified or could be called integrated farm, or can say you're doing an integrated farming, or what we also call mixed farming. That means you're doing different type of farming at the same time, or at the same farm or company. Specialized farming is somebody that most people that I also know who are saying, me, I want to be a pig farmer, and therefore I'm going to specialize in pig farming. Me, I want to be a poultry farmer, and I'm going to specialize in poultry farming. And that is okay, right? And that is called specialized farmer or specialized farming, right? So that's basically what integrated farming and specialized farm means. Depending, as I said, from where you're coming from, right? There's no wrong or right answer. It is just by choice. But I'm going to make it a bit personal and share with you guys what I think. But before I become personal, I think there are some pros and cons to each of them, right? So what is the pros to having integrated farming? So integrated farming gives you basically, number one, first thing that I would say is give you a variety of experience. So let's say if you're in the goat farming, you're in the cattle farming, you get to really learn and experience different sides. Even though they are all livestock, they have so many differences when it comes to feeding, when it comes to medication, when it comes to production, when it comes to market, so many different investment, ranch or housing or pen. There's so many differences that you can learn even by doing both, right? The second again pro that I would talk about integrated farming is also the opportunity, right, for you to actually test two markets at the same time. During COVID, a lot of things went bad, right? So you have poultry feed rising. But meanwhile, if you're doing cattle and you're not buying maize or soya beans, then you can enjoy that. Or if the demand of a specific product in your farm, goes down, the other one might still be rising or might be stable. So then it gives you that sort of security if you have multiple eggs in different baskets, right? Just like they say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So that is really the second point. So it's more around security in case the market fluctuates, you are sorted. right? I can go on and on and on, but I want to talk about, specialized farming. But some of the cons also with integrated farming is the fact that, you have your hands in so many things, right? So therefore, you're not really getting very good at one thing, but it's going to take you longer to get good at one thing because you're doing so many different things. So it's going to take you much longer. And that's one first con. The second con is that it's also going to be capital intensive, right? Because now if you have, if you're building a pen for goats, you have to build for cows. If you're building for chicken, you have to build for your goat or whatever else that you're doing. So it's going to be what? Capital intensive as well. The third point that I want to talk about is the speed of your scalability, right? So if you're doing one thing, you can definitely scale faster because all your resources, your energy, your mindset is put into one. But if you're doing multiple things, then you're spreading them. So instead of going too fast, you go in fast, but not faster. You're spreading them. So you're moving three things. It's like dragging one car versus dragging three cars at your back. So that is the con. Specialized farming. What are some of the pros of specialized farming? The first one that I'm excited about is you become the specialty, right? You can become the known for. So let's say pig farming. Let's take poultry. If anybody talk about poultry farming in Ghana, they talk about the Doma people, right? They have specialized in poultry and that's all what they do. So one person has 50,000 birds, he has 70,000 birds, and they've done it over and over and over and over, right? Generations upon generations, and therefore they are specialized in this. They have so much knowledge and information that, somebody who's doing multiple one is never gonna get there. It will take a long time probably to reach that spot. And then I guess the second thing too is that, just being the expert, it also creates a market for you because you're very known and they know that you do it. You have the quality, you have the standard, and therefore it's easy for you to get the market and your focus, right? So all that thing just bring about productivity for you if you're doing specialized farming, right? The risk involved in the specialized farming is also the fact that if something happened, like, you have a poultry farm and all what you do is poultry, and basically you have a disease outbreak and all your poultries are gone, your farm is gone. There's nothing else for you, right? So you have to start over, or even if you can't because of financial reasons or because the disease is still around, then you're screwed. You don't have any other specialty, you don't have any other thing happening at your farm, and that's it, right? So then that's a big, scary moment for your entire business. And therefore that's the con to having a specialized farm. Personally, people would say, why do you do integrated farm? I am doing integrated farm, and my journey started from cows because I wanted to have cattle ranch and have cows to be able to feed my school. The second, I moved from cattle to poultry because I had the capital, I had the land, and I wanted eggs as well. And also the cows was taking time for me to see any money. I wanted to scale my cow, and I know that there's no way I'm going to make any money from the cattle in the next maybe 5 to 10 years. So I wanted some sort of revenue coming in quick to be able to do small things here. And therefore I introduced the poultry, and good enough, after 4 months, I started selling eggs, so I was making money. Great. And then I moved into goats because I also learned that through cattle that I need a lot of food, a lot of land to be able to scale the cattle business as I want. And therefore with goats, I will be able to scale faster than cow, and there's much demand for both goat and cow, but I think I can sell my goat as well as much as I can sell my cow, and therefore I can scale faster. So that has been my journey. But that doesn't mean that that is the reason why I'm doing integrated farm. The honest reason why I'm doing integrated farming here at Semenshia Farm is because I want to learn and experiment. That is the honest truth, and that is why I am doing all these things. I remember when I brought the veterinary officers to my farm, and I had bought 1,000 birds from Cote d'Ivoire, 1,000 birds from Ghana, 1,000 birds from Holland, 1,000 birds from Belgium. And he was like, why are you doing this? And I'm like, I'm experimenting. It's like, you're crazy. How can you be experimenting with such a capital? This is what, But to my point, I wanted to know which birds will lay more eggs, which birds are more resistant to disease, which birds will make me more profit, and so on and so forth. Because let's think about it. In the agricultural industry in Ghana, in Africa, where can you find this data? Where can I go and say, if I put 10,000 into birds, what is going to be my profit margin? Which bird is going to lay this number of eggs every week for me? Nobody has that data. And people that have it are not even willing to share, right? So to me, I was like, I am going to put myself on the line and experiment with everything that it has interest to me and learn from it, right? So I started with cow and I experimented, and now I'm doing more of goats. If I hadn't done cow, I wouldn't have known why I should do goats, right? And now goats and sheep are in the same place, right? So I put goat and sheep together, but I'm not doing sheep yet, which is something I'm going to introduce, but not yet. So that experiment is what is pushing me. If it was in the Western world where you can go to a university and get all this data and somebody to coach you and give you all the practicals and the information you need, maybe I wouldn't have to waste this money doing all this integrated farming, and we'll sit down, look at the numbers, look at my preference, and choose something to do. But that doesn't exist. And therefore, some of us need to test it out, have a YouTube channel like this, and be able to share that knowledge with you guys and also for myself, and be able to make the decision. My hope is that by the next 10 years, I'll be able to say, you know what, from now, I'm going to be focusing on piggery. I'm going to be focusing on grass cutter farming, and that is going to be my business and what I'll be known for after all this experience that I've gathered. If you do come to my farm and you want to do piggery, I'll be able to give you the right data. If you want to do cattle or poultry, I'll be able to tell you yes or no. And that is the kind of resources and knowledge that I'm building, and the reason why I am doing integrated farming. So I know most of you are worried that, Fred, you're not going to be good at this, you're not going to be that, and therefore focus on one thing instead of doing multiple things. I hear you, my brother, but how can I focus on one thing when I'm not convinced that that one thing is going to work for me? Or that one thing is what I'm going to enjoy doing? Or that one thing is what is going to save my farm someday? I need to practice, I need to put it into practicals, I need to gather my own information and be able to know. Ghanaians have jumped on Holland birds, and everybody's buying Holland birds, but it's just word of mouth, right? But now I have the data from all the birds plus their breeds to be able to justify and say what I want. And in case someday I want to go into poultry farm, know what bird I want to buy. Again, I also want to know, I also will be able to tell where I want to import or buy my birds from, right? So all these are the reason why I do integrated farm. I will specialize someday, but I want to be able to gather the data myself, know what I'm doing by myself, have the records, and be able to decide what is best for me and for my farm, and then share that knowledge with you guys as well. So I hope this really clears some of the reasons of why I'm doing what I'm doing. I know it's a waste of money, but hey, I am still very young, right? And I think I have enough room to make mistakes and then learn from it. Let me know in the comments below if this makes sense to you, or you think I'm crazy. Right there, maybe I'm crazy, or maybe I'm on the right track, but I think this is needed, and therefore I am doing. Every year we learn so much. Even with the brachiaria grass, now we are growing alfalfa. Now we're doing goats, with the poultry. Now we've paused, we have our piggery project that we are going to continue next year. The cows are there. Now we've separated them. We are having some experience here. We're having some experience in other farm. So it's just great learning for us, and we are innovating. We are testing different things, and I hope that will bring the value, the actual value, in the next 5 to 10 years, and that's what we are doing. So if you wanted my personal opinion on why I'm doing integrated farming, then this is the reason. I haven't even gotten to the point where I'm like, oh, maybe this is what is going to bring me money. At this point, it is the knowledge first, just gathering the knowledge, right? I'm not worried about, oh, if poultry goes down, my farm is going to die. No, I'm just gathering the information and knowledge and experience, and also growing a team as well together, right? My team all started, you know, like me, no background in agriculture, just from, you know, our childhood. And we are all now working together and building something together, and hopefully we'll yield the results in some years to come. So thank you guys so much, and I hope this wasn't boring and you guys have been learning something from this. Let me know again in the comment below what you guys think and what you're doing. Stay tuned for more videos from us.